I'm constantly struggling with the topic in this whole space where I'm having a hard time finding what I guess in the business world is called like an MVP, which is like a minimum viable product, right? And I'm always trying to figure out what is the minimum viable scenario that would push me kind of over the edge. And the reason I say that is because with some of these um, with some of the things that are being spoken of just so nonchalantly, it's like, oh, there's people controlling spaceships with their mind. That is very far away from what I would call like the barrier of entry into the unknown, if that makes sense. So like maybe when where are the people that can broadcast the word hello telepathically? And let's start with that before we move on to these extraordinary claims that are immense. Does that make sense? So, like, what would that minimum viable scenario be for you that I just haven't found yet?
No, I think that's a good question, and I've often thought about that myself because it's like, I always imagined that the first, I guess maybe just because I grew up on movies, like I always imagined the first realization that we're not alone would be kind of like, they come from another planet. They come here in a spaceship, right? They land and come out and say hello to us, and like, but instead it was like, they're interdimensional time traveling, reptilian. It was like, whoa, what the fuck? What, like, that's where we're jumping to. I'm with you. It jumps up to like this other thing, like all of these other things. There's super soldiers 20 and back. What are we talking about? Like astral projection,
Yeah.
remote viewing. Oh my God. Like, there's a lot here. Baby steps essentially, right, into this. I'm with you. I don't know I get asked a lot, Patrick, what would it take for you to believe? What piece of evidence? And I don't know if it's a cop out. It's just the truth. I don't know until I see it or hear it or whatever, right? Like I don't know till it happens if it's going to convince me or not. Does that make sense? So I can't like project, well, if I just saw the perfect video, if I just saw the perfect photo, if I just heard the perfect story, if just the right former intelligence officer testified before Congress, then I'd be convinced, right? Like I don't know
Yeah.
till it happens what is going to, push me over the line into that. Definitely a personal experience, but even then, it would have to be pretty clear that this is, if I saw an alien straight in front of my face, like, why can't it just be stuff like that where it's real simple, like we all see it? Why does it have to be like, well, it's about intention and love? Like, everything is so complicated. Like, there is no black and white crossing over into that line. And why can't it be? There isn't other life like us. I mean, that, you know what I mean? Like, we just say hello to each other. We call people up. We show up in front of people. We can see each other, right?
Well,
Like, we
also,
interact with
I
each
mean, a lot.
other.
I would argue a lot of people have the intention of wanting to see it. It just doesn't happen. I mean, I want to see it. My intention.
Yeah.
Do I have to wear a blue jumper or like what is the trick?
Well, let me
Yeah.
ask
And
you, are
well,
you right-handed or left-handed, Daniel?
I'm right-handed, so
Okay,
no,
well,
no psychic powers for
then
you.
I guess I don't
Yeah.
need to ask the second question. Yeah.
Oh man.
Go
No,
ahead. Go
and
ahead.
that's I think the issue with some of the claims is I think a lot of the claims, particularly from individuals like Dr. Stephen Greer, where you can apparently just walk up to these air quotes black sites and just take tours on Tuesdays or something.
Yeah.
That's the way he talks about things. So that would be like for me, okay, let's send 50 folks out there to check out what you're talking about. But there's zero people. It's just like you've said before, him telling stories or saying things. And that's where I think there needs to be, I guess, accountability is the simplest way of breaking it down. To if you say something that is easily provable, by that I mean, there is a brown door on that mountain. You could go look at it, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you. Like, it's never obvious. Now, other people might argue and go, no, it is obvious, Patrick. We're not alone. This is how, this, that, and the other. And again, I'm excluding personal experience, right? So I've had no
Yeah.
personal experience. So I'm trying to cross the finish line without a personal experience, right? So what does that mean? That means I have to rely on other people to provide something to me that would convince me, right? But what could bring personal experience to everybody is if they showed a craft and put it in a museum and people could go visit it and there's a whole story and there's you know what I mean? Like that kind of, that's probably when when it is all over the news and there's press conferences and people are studying it and all that. It's just like too big a thing to like that be fake. Because right now everything else, at least in my opinion, requires a leap of faith to believe it. Like it gets you just up to the line. Credible person telling a story. Why would they lie? They've got radar data. There's this, there's that. There's always, it's never just that easy. And the answer can't just be, well, the truth is just hard to accept, Patrick. Some people just can't accept the truth. That's not it at all. Some people just actually need to see some what they believe to be objective evidence about it. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right? Yeah, maybe some people, quote unquote, can't handle the truth, but nobody knows the truth. So anyone proclaiming to have it all figured out or understand it all, right? Like, I don't know. I'm with you. And this is a great question, Mr. From Nowhere, which is a great name, by the way.